This right here is the all-new Mercedes-Benz GLE. Well, when I say all new, it doesn't mean this is a generation change. This is a facelift, a change that Mercedes wanted to look like a complete overhaul. And they've tried their best, especially with this front design. A lot has changed on the front, of course. New set of headlights. You can see the two eyebrows right here for denoting that it's an E-Class. Those V-shaped, boomerang-shaped headlights have gone. They look massive. This one looks smaller, but they're very sharp and agile to look at, and especially these bros on the top for the rear end look really fantastic. You also get this multi-beam LED that you get in most of the Mercedes cars of this generation. But again, I love the new headlights because of these two eyebrows right at the top and the bottom. Apart from that, you get a new massive grille. If you see now, this is the AMG line we are driving, so you get a lot of piano black elements and this AMG bumper with these inserts and these different set of elements running across the car. You also get this new massive grille with the star logo. If you remember, if you wanted the GLE, it came with that dotted star logo that was earlier, but this is the new age Mercedes-Benz 2023. So you get this big ass star grille with this huge logo with sensors inside and then camera here. But when I was talking about the changes in bumper, you can see these inserts. That's absolutely new. That was not there last time. And this is just a facelift, but the front fascia has been completely overhauled. Also, these elements right here, if you see this chrome elements right here and these cutouts, also again mix of piano black, black, silver, chrome, a lot of elements running across in this car. The best part is this is a complete off-roader. It's a 4MATIC. The one we're driving is the petrol option. This is the 450, which is again new. And apart from that, you get a 350D and a 450D. We talk about the specification, what all has changed internally when we get inside and drive the car. But for now, I want to tell you that this is a 4MATIC vehicle. This is a made in India Mercedes-Benz. So the cost will come down because it's made in India. But also, it's a complete off-roader with the off-roading package, and there is complete underbody protection. Not only that, there is an underbody camera also. We'll show you that in a bit. But let's move on to the side and talk about the side design of the Mercedes-Benz GLE 450. While you can see a lot of changes happening on the front design of the car, the side remains the same, the silhouette remains the same. What has changed is this AMG line option now. So you get the AMG alloy wheels and 20-inch wheelers now instead of the 19-inch that were earlier. But the AMG line is limited to the bumpers and the alloy wheels. There's nothing else on the inside that states it's an AMG line. That's all for the AMG that you get, the most out of AMG, I would say. So the overall dimension silhouette remains the same on the side. So we'll quickly move on to the rear side and talk about what's changed on the rear. Well, following the suit of the side design, this also remains almost the same. The only thing that would change is the badging. It's the 450 now. And the lights, the dimensions remain the same. The styling remains the same. The internals of these LED elements have changed. Other than that, this remains the similar massive, chunky, muscular SUV that we all love. In fact, it is the most selling luxury SUV from Mercedes-Benz India. Almost 20,000 of GLEs are on the road right now, and you can imagine with this new facelift, the sales are definitely go even higher up. And also telling you that this was the first SUV that Mercedes started manufacturing in India back in the 2000s. So we have come a long way. The new one also is manufactured in India. So great going for Mercedes-Benz India, and I'm sure as this is available before Diwali, especially the 450 and the 350D, the sales are going to go even higher up, and you might have the best Dhanteras Mercedes-Benz India. Now let's move on to the inside and see what has changed on the inside. Is it really a GLE if you're not sitting on the boss seat, the VIP seat, fully reclined? The front seat really moved forward till the limit and you're feeling like you are the boss. And also, doesn't matter how many phones you have, whether you have the 15 Pro, you have the Samsung Galaxy 4, 5 or the Google Pixel 8, it has space for all of these and some more right here. So even if you have your sunglasses, your AirPods, there's space from that also. But this armrest can be moved and you can even make a third passenger sit here. It's because there's so much of space in this car, so you can use that space, and the central tunnel is not that high, thankfully. So 3 people can sit comfortably, and these are massive seats. This is a really huge car with a lot of space inside, and you can see the kind of space we're talking about. Now this seat can be adjusted from the driver's side with the press of a button. It's not like the S-Class or the Maybach GLS where you could press a button and it moves automatically. You'll have to do it manually, and to control that, the driver has to do that from that end. But other than that, even if it's not completely moved towards the front, you still have a lot of space in this car. You have your own AC blowers, you have your AC controls right here. So it's like 4-zone climate control AC, 2 in the front, 2 at the rear. You also have your curtain controls, which are automatic, so it's not manual, thankfully. So you can control and get your privacy shield right with the press of a button. You can also open and close the sunroof from this. So a lot of controls on with the rear passenger. Again, you can see a mix of Burmeister audio, wooden paneling here, leather throughout the car, making it really nice. And you get a lot of interior options. You know what, you just don't have to be limited to this beige option. There are other options that you can take. And if you need your cup holders, it's right here, right above the AC vent. So in terms of space, obviously there's no limit to it. And you want your Type-C charging, it is 100-watt fast charging, and we have actually tested it. It really charged our phone really fast. But I would not recommend charging it all the time because it's a really fast charger. And the best thing is they have also given you space to keep the phone while it's charging, so the wires are not running around the car. So you just put it here, and then it's charging. Even for your AirPods, there is space, so you can keep your AirPods right here or your TWS, and both can be charging at the same time thanks to 2 USB Type-C ports, fast chargers. And of course there's more in the front. When we move on to the front, we'll talk about that. And these seats can be moved forward right here with the press of a button, and they can move back. You can also recline or incline the seats, and they do it really well. It's not like the Range Rover Sport, if you remember, was like hospital type, that kind. The also good thing is the headrest is also adjustable, and it comes with really nice cushioning that reminds me of the S-Class and the Maybach. So GLE has overall improved a lot in this facelift. So at its normal seating position, you can see still I have so much of knee room, foot room, thigh support. It's just great. I think chauffeur driven is what E-Class is all about, and when you need an SUV instead of a sedan, this is the best option right out there. Compared to the competition like the BMW X5, this still offers you a lot more space, because we are lucky in India that we get the long wheelbase version of the E-Class and of course the GLE. So you get so much of space that I feel that you could even put a third row in it if you wanted. Let's forget about the third row and talk about the boot space you get in this car. Well, it's the GLE, and you know it has massive amount of boot space. You can see 2 of me can fit inside and lie down easily. So just put in a flatbed and you're good to go. Well, jokes apart, you can see the amount of boot space you get, and you can even add further just by a press of a button. So you press these 2 buttons and the seat lower down themselves, and you get massive amount of space. You can put in a mattress, make it a complete bed. No ideas there. But apart from that, you also get space underneath here. You get your space saver tire, which is the Space Master, your toolkits and all of that. And still there are some knickknacks where you can keep stuff. You also get tire inflator because this is a space tire, and you get your medical kit, your places to keep your stuff. But if you feel this car is too high for you to load and unload, with a press of a button, you can increase the height or decrease the height. So that option is right here, and you can see when you don't need that space, you can pull those seats down or up as per your need. And once you're done, press of a button and you can shut down the boot. So all of that you get right here in the GLE 450. But most of these changes on the interior have happened on what you call is the driver's seat and the front. So let's move on there and talk about what has changed on the front. So this is where things have changed entirely. Honestly, this is a new set of steering wheel that you get, and you can see the piano black elements, and this is what you would expect in a facelift. A lot of things changed. New set of buttons here, because now not only can you heat the seats, but you can also cool them, and a L button to control the seat for the co-passenger so that the boss, the VIP, can get full comfort. You also have this wooden paneling with the press of a button reveals the wireless charger, which is now tilted towards you. So when you keep your phone, it always is showing, so you don't have to keep looking like that for the wireless charger. It shows you everything right on the fly. Apart from that, you get 2 Type-C ports, you get your lighter charging port, your cup holders, which can be cooled or set to heat with the press of a button. So when you press the hot button, the ambient lighting of the cup holder section becomes red, and as soon as you click on the cold side, it becomes blue. So really nifty touches by Mercedes, so that even if you're driving and you can't look at it, the light will tell you if it's on heat or cold, which is fantastic because the button in a way is not that visible and you don't get to see the red and light blue lights right on the fly. Apart from that, the interior, overall the screen remain the same, but what has been added is additional features to MBUX, which we're going to talk while we're driving. But you get your physical touch buttons that you would expect, and they're really nice and clicky buttons with sound, and you can control all of your AC controls, everything right from here. The MBUX, apart from being a touch interface, also has touchpad interface, so you can click on home, control all your elements from right here. And to control that, you also have a resting pad where you can keep your palm on and control the all elements. Apart from that, you get your dynamic mode where you select which mode you want to drive the car in: economy, comfort, and off-road. Off-road is something that is fantastic because it's a 4MATIC car. Now with off-road, you get a lot of options, like the engine goes to off mode, the suspension goes to off-road mode, and the off-road meters are simply fantastic. So if I go to off-road meters on both the center console screen and the main screen, you can see this whole cockpit becomes an off-roading HUD, and you also get a heads-up display. So much of information right here. So if I talk about the information, you get your drive mode right here, which tells you what angle is your steering at, how much power is each wheel getting from the 4MATIC power. You also get your tilt angle, you get your direction, you get your engine data of torque, power, your coolant temperature, your engine oil temperature, your altitude, all of that. And you can even change that to, if you want to see suspension, you want to see tire pressure, you want to see tire temperature, your position of GPS, all of that available right here on a touch of a button. But what's added is the bonnet view or underbody camera. Now this car, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a complete off-roader with underbody protection. So you get that underbody camera also, which shows if you're going really heavy off-roading, you can be worry-free that what's underneath the car can be managed. Also, with the press of a button or by simply moving to off-road mode, you can raise the height of the vehicle and even lower it down. So there's a physical button to control that. So apart from changing the dynamic modes, you get your camera button. With the press of a button, that you can launch the camera, your individual car settings. Just with the press of a button, you can switch on the heads-up display, you can switch it off, you can get your DSL, which is downhill speed reduction. You can lower down the car with the press of a button. You get car wash, manual shifting, Parktronic, ESP, and all of that with press of a button. And in terms of space, you get a lot of space here. You get your Type-C charging port. AC vents are nicely laid out, from 4 in the center, 2 on the sides, heads-up display, chunky steering wheel with paddle shifters, and all your controls right here with Burmeister audio. What's also added is this car now gets 9 airbags. So you get your knee airbag also and a lot of other airbags around the car. So in total 9 airbags and pre-safe alert and everything. You get your panoramic sunroof, your LED lights, and all your touch panel controls of LED lights right from here. Overall, I think the needed changes that the car wanted or should have got has been updated in this 450, especially the top model 450. But not just these interior and cosmetic changes, this car has also gained power, and now we're going to talk about that while we drive the car. Well, first of all, this car is already on. The ignition is on, the car is switched on, but you can barely hear anything, and that's thanks to the integrated starter generator ISG or the 48-volt battery tech, hybrid tech that this car gets. Now that additionally adds power and also mileage. So most of the time your engine will not be running and it will be running on electric. So almost like a hybrid vehicle. But the best part is the additional power that you get. Now this 3-liter 6-cylinder engine gives you 500 Newton meter of torque. That makes it 280 kilowatts of total power, which is plus 15, and the total 500 Newton meter of torque, that is plus 200. So now let's take it for a spin and show you what I mean by that additional power. I'm not gonna like rush it, but I'm just gonna show you that how silent this car is. We are moving right now and the sunroof is open, windows are lowered down, you can still barely hear anything. This car is actually running on like the most silent engine possible. Imagine driving an SUV of this size, this mammoth SUV, with hardly any sound, and with the press of a button you hear that grunt. And I was actually hitting 450 Newton meter of torque just with just a slight touch off the pedal, not even like a hard press. And that's what this car offers, you know. That's why it's the best seller. That's why India loves it. And India loves SUV, you know that. This one gives you that full SUV feel. But also apart from that, you see the tilt angle, the steering angle, the RPM meter, the latitude and longitude, all of that, and so much of information right here. You can further change the displays from off-road to service to assistance, navigation, classic, sport, understated. I personally also like the full screen navigation where you can see where you are, what you're doing and how you're driving. Apart from that, I also think assistance feature came in really handy when we were in traffic. It told us when to turn, when not to turn, and also guarded us in most of the places that we should not be going further up because there's a car in front of us, or we should not turn right or left. It gives you a warning because of that radar system that it has, and it came in really handy in traffic situations. So as you can see, that plenty of information right in front of your eyes with the heads-up display, 2 screen giving you off-road information. But if you don't want to drive in off-road mode, you can just click on dynamic, go back to comfort, and you can feel everything changing from the steering to ESP to suspension to the engine, and you can see you can power it up even more. See the torque. Look at the torque right now. But that is the kind of power that car offers you, and I think it's just brilliant because this is a really massive SUV. No second thought about it, but still has massive amount of power. I'm just gonna rush it again and show it to you. If you need power, what happens? You get your electric power, you get your petrol power, and within seconds you're on 0 to 100. And the comfort mode really breezes through all these bumps and breakers, so no problem at all there. Now let me also give you a demo of the camera that I was talking about, which will come in action when you are either really slow or in off-roading mode. So this is how it looks when you start the camera. But example, if I'm going off-roading, just let me give you a glimpse of that, just a bit of it. What will happen to the camera automatically? See that. I love the transition also, and I can see what's beneath me. So the under bonnet camera or the bonnet view is just one of the few reasons you would want this car. And as soon as you increase the speed, how the transition happens and the camera changes to, you know, this navigation mode. And as soon as you go beyond 20, the camera shuts off. But that's like one of the best views possible of this car. I think the bonnet view is an additional benefit. But let me just do that off-roading section again and show it to you, the tilt angles and everything that you see on the car. So you saw how the under bonnet view works. Now I'm going to show you how much degree of angle and how much tilt and all you see when you're going through an off-roading patch. So these are like stones kept here, and if you go over it, and you can see all of it shows you the kind of power it's taking, what angle you are at, and all of that. You can change it to the kind of pressure each tire has. See, the suspension level right now is very well described, and you can see if you want to change the vehicle height, you can press a button and the vehicle height will change. Now it's level 1, it's rising, and all of that just happens on the fly. Complete off-roading package. Now the tires are all in level, and again I take this further up and you see how the suspension is really in action. The kind of data and telemetrics it has is just above any other car, and it felt there's somebody coming, so it kind of guarded me. If you see that there was a person walking in and I was showing you all the data, so it guides you from that also. So much of added information and telemetrics in this car that really makes it one of the best facelifts, I would say, because so much has been added even when it's not a generation change. So completely overall interior features, I would say, not the screens and all, but the features that have been added to the car. So that was our quick look of what has changed in the GLE 2023 edition. This is the GLE long wheelbase that India gets. This is the 450 we drove, but we'll soon be driving the 450D and also talk about the full review when we drive this car for a longer time. This was just for a few hours that we drove around this car and also told you all the features, but do let us know in the comment section below which one was your favorite feature. Was it the exterior highlights or the changes in the interior or that bonnet view? Do let us know in the comment section below. And for more such videos, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching the Unbiased Vlog.